Hey there. This is Michael Boyle, licensed therapist, embodied aliveness trauma transformation specialist, and author of the book, How to Find Joy Even If You Have a Hole in Your Bucket. You're listening to my podcast shorts, where I've teamed up with AI, trained in my voice, to generate audio versions of my blog archives. So without further ado, here is the audio blog. Please enjoy. Today, I want to talk about why fixing your problems might actually be making them worse. Where most therapy, pop psychology, religion, and self-help go wrong is by trying to get us to focus on and fix, understand, figure out, heal, pray about, process, and solve our problems. As long as we are oriented as a reaction to our suffering, even if it's wanting to get rid of our problems with the best of intentions, we are ironically activating the neural networks of suffering. This point is in consideration of the neuroscience concept of sprouting and pruning. Whenever we think a thought, it generates all manner of activity throughout the body, all of which has associated infrastructure in the brain. When there is repeated, similar neurological activity, it creates a neural groove. I liken this to drops of water in dirt. At first, they create just a trickle, but with more drops of water, eventually there is a creek, then a stream, then a river, with power, direction, and a life of its own. Another analogy is a spider web. Similar neural activity starts branching out and latching on to other areas of the brain. Practically then, if I have an anxiety branch that only gets activated when I go to the dentist, it can start branching out and becoming associated with white dentist coats. Then doctors, then hospitals, then ambulances, then the street where we saw an accident, then the time when I was young and heard a siren, and so on. This neural groove is now a neural network. It has sprouted, and it has a life of its own until we take the power back and starve it of our attention. By nature, when one network is sprouting, other networks, due to lack of activity, are pruning. This is a for better or worse principle. So, if I am focusing on how much I hate anxiety and want to get rid of anxiety, or going to therapy about the reasons I am anxious, or praying to God to rid me of anxiety, or doing breathing exercises to calm my anxiety. This is all activity stuck in the web of the anxiety neural network, thereby strengthening, not diminishing, anxiety. If, however, we focus on what we value and choose, and sprout neural grooves and networks of what we choose to experience more of, we will, by default, prune the networks that we no longer wish to experience. I go into this all, much more, and the how-to in the Altogether Academy curriculum and courses. But I know most of you have lots of tools to make good use of this information right now. If not, feel free to reach out. In the meantime, happy sprouting. All right, this concludes your latest Michael Boyle podcast short. Thanks for listening and contributing to the mass of people who are doing the work to thrive, heal, and make the world a better place. You can find the full archive of my articles and other resources at altogether.academy. Please feel free to reach out anytime for support or with questions. Love to all. Together we thrive.